No, I'm not Amish, and I'm not Lincoln, even though I got a crazy beard, and it doesn't connect. But the girls love it. Good thing for not connecting. So there's different like spirituality. Like I can understand how believers can say, oh, they believe in a God, and but they're deluding themselves so much, I mean, you could say, there's a super heaven and there's a God up there and it's wheels lightning and everything's made of platinum and everything is water fountains and babes just everywhere, the mountain. I mean, as much as you wanted that to be true, doesn't make it true. What's the thing? Reality is stranger than fiction. Apparently that's the real case. From quantum entanglement, particles popping existing out of different spaces, locations, dimensions. We got 10 dimensions. No God still. No gods ever. So I can see how a believer can say, oh, you can really, really delude yourself. I mean, really fucking go out of your mind, delude yourself, pretend there's a God and there's a super magical realm out there. And that's all good. Or you can take it the realistic perspective and say, wow, look at all the stars up there. Look at the how we became stardust, the process of stellar synthesis. If you want to call that spirituality, but that's real spirituality. It's not fake, because this is things that happened billions of years. This is science that we can test. We got the cosmic microwave background radiation from the Big Bang left over. Everything is science. And that's, like Lawrence Krauss says, that's real spirituality. You can look at all wonder of the beautiful universe and the stars and be in wonder and awe. You can be like real spirituality, but that has nothing supernatural. It's just the beauty of the universe, the beauty of existence. And if you look at it like that, you can say, well, one day, me and my wife, we'll take a trip to the stars, we'll live in maybe hotels in space or something, and mine for minerals, and we'll have amusement parks and planets, different planets, and we can cruise the cosmos. And until that's possible, you can believe in that. And according to Moores, everything keeps on advancing. I mean, we're a type 0 civilization. It's going to take about 100 years to get to a type 1 civilization where we can utilize the power of the stars. Unless somebody can come up with some amazing technology, which actually Hawking said they're working on these super propulsion systems. So maybe if somebody can build some kind of warp drive, we can make all this a reality. But, like, basically the bottom line, we're born atheists, we'll die atheists. We're all curious. We're born curious, People say there's gods. Well, you gotta prove it. You gotta prove any gods, You gotta demonstrate any gods. As much as you want it to be true, you gotta prove it and demonstrate it. Or as non-believers, we're just not gonna believe you. And think about it. Why would there be non-believers in any religions? Doesn't that tell you something? That even probably when science was limited, there was always one person raise their hand. Hey, I object, or I don't believe you. I don't believe there's gods. Even back probably in the caveman days. So there's always been disbelievers. If there was truly a God or multiple gods, any God, there would be no disbelievers. Even the Bible says there's disbelievers. Just think about that. Why would there be disbelievers? Because the religion's a control system, and it was basically before the early government, Socrates, came the Christian religion. Socrates was just questioning all the gods. Even the first atheist in 5000 BC, which was before Christ, he even questioned the gods. There was a simple explanation. I think his name was Cicero or something like that. And he's like, well, the person killed all the people in this boat in the storm, and then the skeptic was like, well, how come this person didn't die? There's all these people died, but this person didn't die. Or the opposite. So, you know, it doesn't make sense to say, well, you're in a plane crash, 300 people died, but you survived. Oh, and you thank your deity? What about the other 300 people? Were they believing the wrong gods or no gods? You have to make sense of this. That's why I said, like, street epistemology. I think Maxwell and the rest of the street epistemologists on YouTube, you know, can save the world, because you could throw all the science out of the window, and just like back in the days, you know, people said there was gods, and people was like, well, where? Just take it back simple. Stonehenge Bearskins. Okay, where? Well, how do you think it happened? I don't know. But where's this God? You know what I mean? So, you know, you could, like I said, you could take it all the way back, and that's the basically, you know, once faith is crumbled, you don't even have to be a scientist. You don't have to even throw science. Like the Piras tribe, you know, he lived with those people, and he tried to convert them to Christian missionary, and he's like, the Piras says, well, the stars in the universe was not made, you know, and then he was like, you know, well, where's this God, you know? How can you believe in something that you can't even talk and see? And then that person that's trying to evangelize actually became atheist because the tribe used that street epistemology. Hell, they don't even have to buy the book Manual for Creating Atheists or street. It's just basic questions. You know, I mean, you could make anybody a skeptic with just asking basic questions. You know, yeah, I mean, I think there's kind of a pattern to it. Like when I was using street epistemology with my friend, you know, I couldn't, when he was an agnostic, it's kind of a little harder because, you know, to ask the, you know, the questions. But when they're believers, you know, you keep the chain of the reasoning. You ask the basic questions, you know, because it was like he wasn't opening up, you know, because he was kind of the person that just wanted to be right about everything, you know. Well, like, so it was fun. It wasn't frustrating though. But when he asked the questions, oh, he was agnostic. You know, I was trying to see, you know, because he wouldn't even tell me. You know, I was trying to point out, well, if it's not aliens, it's God. You know, and, you know, I try to sway, you know. And then he used like, well, if somebody believes in this God and this person, who am I saying? I'm saying, you know, who? I'm not to say anybody. They're both right. I'm saying, you know, like they're both right. How can this person be right and this God and the person that could be right? You know. So you have to just, you know, you talk to these, and I'm sure as you know, he probably became atheist. You know, because my street epistemology. You know, and that's the power. But the street epistemology, which was, you know, pretty much used in Socrates. It's called the Socratic method, street epistemology, you know. How do you know what you know? Ask questions. And that's what Socrates did, you know, student Plato. And he questioned all the gods. And, you know, so basically it all started with government, started with animism, polytheism, and then, you know, monotheism. You have to ask yourself, you know, there's one supreme God, why would it start as polytheism? Wouldn't it be monotheism to polytheism to the fake gods? So that's the problem, you know. So, like Dan Barker's shirt says, no gods, no masters, no slaves. Alright, guys, have a great one, and use that street epistemology. This is beyond atheism, you know. All you have to use is street epistemology, and you can tear down somebody's faith, and they'll be skeptics, atheists, agnostics.